Good
Right.
morning, good evening, and good afternoon from the Hill Country to the rest of the world. I'm Brian Snyder, and this is the That's BS podcast. Go ahead and follow us on our socials at the Brian Snyder, Faro Visuals, and at That's BS Official. Check out the website, thebriansnyder.com and farovisuals.com. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't yet. YouTube.com/ at the Brian Snyder and at That's BS Official. We also want to shout out Celsius. Check out their electric vibe flavor. It is a limited edition, so you want to get it now before they run out. I'm going to stop talking because today we have the one and only Say Park with us, and I'm excited to have him on because he's a wedding filmmaker and an amazing wedding filmmaker, a great YouTube personality who's just breaking down things like nobody else is. If you want to learn anything, then he is the one you need to check out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Say Park.
What is going on? Wow, Brian, like your intro is like on the dot. Like it's like you practiced this before or something.
Maybe I was
You done a
sitting in
couple
front of the
times?
mirror for 5 hours.
No, that was awesome. Hey, how's it going? Good to see everybody here.
And how are you? You're in the like DC metro area, right?
Yeah, so I try to say I'm in DC area so people know where I am kind of. Because if I say
Mhm.
like Gaithersburg area, people are like, "Where are you from?" So yes, I'm like maybe 20 minutes outside DC, but Washington DC area is probably what people know me by.
Nice. And how's the weather over there right now?
It's tricky. So I have a bunch of shoot schedule and it is like all up in the air right now. So it's thunderstorm schedule like 50%, but it's like sunny sometimes. It's not. I feel like I'm in Florida right now. Yeah, what about
Mm,
you? What's the weather out there? I kind of see cloud. Is that cloud out there?
yes. So it's weird. Like it's been so rainy, which I love. I love the rain. But at this time of the year, it's usually like very sunny and hot and all that stuff. So I'm not complaining, but
Yeah.
it is not normal.
No, I'll call you back in July and see how it is then.
Come
I know
on,
it's
man,
different in
because
July.
I hope this stays like this. But in reference to kind of what we were talking about before, like
I know we finished the podcast before we started.
it's you plan some shoots, you have things you have in the books, and then all of a sudden the weather changes and you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
so
I mean, you too. Like, our job depends on the weather quite a bit, right?
yeah.
I mean, sometimes I can pull it off if it's just a little bit, but if there is a scene, like I'm looking for this one sunny scene because I'm doing a shot for anamorphic lens, and I need the sunlight to just hit that lens.
Hmm.
So, yes, I can shoot most contents if it's cloudy, whatever, I'll pull it off, like kind of like you did. You said you had a windy day and you just kind of like, improvise and do your thing. But there's some weather I'm just like really like I need the sun on Sunday. I don't
Yeah.
know what's happening, dude. So, yeah, but it's the other thing about so a lot of my job is sure there's the wedding side and then the other side is the YouTube. Now I spend 90% of my time on YouTube, 10% on weddings. 90% of my income is from weddings, 10% income is from YouTube. Right? It's kind of a really weird mixed bag. But a lot of the shoots we do for YouTube, you really gotta just improvise and do your thing. So we'll see what happens to this video shoot for the anamorphic lens. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pick up from there.
Yeah,
I've
sure. It's so
completely
much to it, right?
forgot something.
Yeah.
So let's see. When you have so many things in one bag?
I want to see this bag, dude. What kind of bag is this? Is this Mary Poppins? Are you like digging in there?
It's the VSGO bag that I got from NAB, and
Oh,
it's a pretty massive bag, but still, it's like, why
I
do I
don't know
have
how
a
you
lot?
came back from NAB. I literally had to throw away clothes to come back. Like, because we got extra stuff, and and I stuffed my bag so much to a point where like, all right, which is my least favorite shirt?
Dude, I didn't necessarily expect to come back with anything. I took one bag to NAB, and I came back with a backpack, and the backpack was stuffed too. So
Oh, there you go. Yeah. No, it's insane how much. I mean, like I've seen people win. I mean, if you win big stuff at NAB, they'll ship it to you. But if it's like a little thing, but it adds up, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I've seen people win multiple things. I mean, you were at Viltrox booth. You've seen those lenses. So some of those
Mhm.
lenses, they're not. I think they're expecting you to just carry it. I mean, you'd be surprised. I mean, it's my fault. I should have expect to carry some stuff back. It's just that when you're on a budget, you have one bag and you already stuffed it to the gill anyway. So that's a whole other thing. Yeah, I play with budget quite a bit. Here,
Mhm.
let me drink this non-Celsius over here.
Oh man, you can totally drink it on camera. What we'll do is we'll do like the whole like blurring thing, pixelated and everything.
Yeah, I use AI.
Yeah, yeah.
Made it worse. I took a drink too. All right.
You took it too fast.
This is what happens
Oh
when you
my
don't
gosh.
drink Celsius. It's not spoon enough, so you end up choking it, and then you just ruin your whole podcast. So drink Celsius,
Mm,
everyone. That's my
there
plug.
you
Did I do a good job? All right, stays fire.
there you go. That's the way to do it. I'm gonna use that as the promo for it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
So where were we?
right, anamorphic lenses. So you have, of course, made so many videos, reviewing gear, all that kind of stuff. What are some of those struggles that you find that just consistently follow you? Is it
Mm.
weather? Is it forgetting something? Like,
No, I mean definitely forgetting something. We all have forgotten either. I haven't forgotten SD card, but I have definitely forgotten tripod plates.
mm,
Yeah, that's happened twice, I think, my 6 year career. So those things, sure, it hurts, it stings at the moment, but it goes away
yeah,
fast. But I think the biggest struggle, there's different phases. So let me see. I'm gonna try to pick the one that's not as obvious, so it's helpful to most people. Um, so I'm in this weird teenager period. So if the whole entire YouTube career is like a human life cycle, I gotten past the infancy, the toddler. I'm at this teenager period, and it's like the most awkward, like the puberty stage. I'm getting pimples. Like it is, it's just ugly, man. Okay, I want to be an adult, start making some money, and
hmm,
be able to do things. But I feel like I'm at that stage after 6 years. Uh, 29,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I have many brands who works with me, which is a blessing. But here is the killer: they kind of determine your schedule a little bit, um,
mm,
because you agree to do something, let's say a product review, and you get really excited, and you say yes, and then you don't hear from them for a couple weeks. You have no idea when box is showing up, so you don't want to like wait on it. And then you
yeah,
say yes to a couple of the brands. Let's say you do that like 10 times, and you
mhm,
thought you spaced it out. You're like, okay, I talked to the brands like in a different spaces, and they all show at the same time. Like you have boxes and boxes of stuff showing up in your door, and you literally have to sit there and go, okay, I was really excited about that like a month ago. I'm not excited about that. And this is probably because my personality too. Like I get really excited for a little bit and I move on to the next thing, right? So you
mm,
have to really force yourself to one, be interested in what you're doing again. And then two, trying to space out all these brand gear and schedule and make sure you don't piss off any brand and literally becomes this game of who should I piss off this month? You have to choose which brand you're gonna have to piss off, and then you say, all right, that's the one. And in reality, sure, there are systems in place where I have contracts and they have contracts, and we protect ourselves. But because this whole creative space is so fluid, it's really hard to just find a balance of like scheduling yourself to do it. It's a
Mhm.
wild, wild west that you have to enjoy every single day. Um,
Yeah.
so that's probably the surface level schedule struggle, but of course there's the inner struggles too. But yeah, like once you get to this phase, I think we have to start saying no more often. I am not a good person
Mhm.
saying no because
Yeah.
I always kind of grew up as this like team player who always want to help somebody. And when you
Mhm.
work with these brands and they become kind of your friends, right? Um, and I try to see the business side and the friend side and try to separate them, but it's still like a friend comes up to you and say, "Hey Brian, man, I really need your help with this. Will you be able to help this?" It's really hard to say no, right?
Yeah.
And again, like in the beginning, it's easy to say no because they're just a brand. But now that I've done
Mhm.
this for 6 years, I have friends in these brands and I have contacts, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
like make sure I help them when they need stuff. But how do I do that within a limited amount of time is a whole nother game. So practice saying no, and then obviously you can start charging money, and then they say no for you, right? So that's it's a struggle, but I think um, to all the viewers who's watching out there, you know, they might say, "Oh man, it's so nice. You get all kinds of gear every day. You get free stuff." Like to me, when a thing shows up at my door, it's not free stuff. It's like, oh, there's more work.
Yeah.
But try to enjoy that, right? So it's not all sunshine and brightness and green over here. There's definitely some struggles.
So then how do you say no in a nice way so that it's not like completely shutting the door in their face, but saying like, not right now.
No, I'm glad you asked that because I just literally did that to one brand. Now, granted, this is a brand new brand. I never worked with them before, so it's a little bit easier for me.
Mhm.
Um, they asked me to make a video for their launch, and of course, my question is, "Hey, when's the launch?" It's like, "Oh, in 2 weeks." Like, okay, well, I don't even have the stuff yet. um, they're like, "Well, why don't you make the video first, and then we'll send you the stuff." And to
Ah.
me, that's basically that client who says, "Hey, I can't pay you right now. Like we don't have the money, but would you make this 10 videos for me, and then I'll pay you when I can."
Mhm.
That's definitely a no. So, but I didn't want to just say no, right?
Sure.
Right? Because I think this is the key. And I think a lot of us treat these brands pretty cold because there's the distance of, yes, it's just a brand. There's also the distance of, like, oh, I'm over here and this brand's across the sea on the other side of the world. Like,
Mhm.
there's a huge disconnect. But I try to see if there's already a connection and try to like have a conversation like a friend already. So I said, hey, oh man, that's too bad. I'll tell you what, I'll spend a couple hours next week and I'll take a look at your, because they wanted me to do the software side of this hardware, right? So I'll take a look at your software and I'll do an Instagram story for you. So it's always a no, but I just at least a little bit just put something on there. So it's like I have pretty good grace with this company now. So when
Yeah.
I need them to understand, hey, this video is running late because I have 10 different things to review, they'll probably say, "Oh, it's okay, Say, why don't you just take your time? It's okay." So it's really
Yeah.
relationship building more than anything else, but at the same time protecting your own time. Man, that's hard, but I did it.
And I think that's kind of, again, going back to a point you made, is it's so um, easy for us to say yes to
Hmm.
everything, as you get started and you're wanting to meet people and wanting to network and wanting to get more brand deals, like you just kind of say yes to everything. Do you find like maybe something that we should learn from the start is saying no, even if we really don't want to?
Well, that's actually pretty good because that's probably even harder. Like, let's
Yeah.
say you just started and that one brand all of a sudden contacted you
Hmm.
and it's not quite in your niche. You don't, it's not that ideal, but this is like your first one. Do you say
Hmm.
no? I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on the situation, right? So you have to really
Sure.
assess your time, what's the risk, and kind of weigh that because sometimes it is about taking chances, right?
Yeah.
So that's even harder in the beginning because you feel like you're going to miss out if you don't take this opportunity. But if your gut feeling, I think it's all about that gut feeling. If your gut feeling is so wrong about this brand who wants to work with you and this is your first one, I think that's a no.
Mm.
Fortunately for me, my first one ever, actually the gut feeling was, what the heck? Because a lot of these brands, they like to use their personal Instagram to DM you. So it's not the brand DMing you, it's some like random person in China who has 2 followers with like maybe one picture of a cat, like DMing you and saying, "Hey, this is so and so. We'd like to collaborate you." Your instant gut feeling is like, "What the heck?" Right?
Yeah.
But you always say, "Hey, can you email me? Because I done this in my past company, so I know how to IP address track and like I know how to track you down." Right? So I would
Mm.
track you down where your server's at and check to see because you can spoof an email address. That's the other
Mm.
thing. So just because it's from DJI at DJI.com, you can technically spoof that. So if you actually match that against the IP address where it came from, you can kind of cross check that. So I would do that in the beginning, but yeah, I think you're right. We have to practice saying no from the beginning because it does become something that of a habit you cannot break out of. It's a vicious cycle that a lot of us get into, myself included. Sometimes I'm good at one season, and the next season I could be horrible at it. Um,
Right.
and I mean, I don't know. I mean, one day you get to maybe tell me or Celsius story, but I don't know. That was like, should I say no in the beginning? Like it's sometimes a golden opportunity, right? And then
Yeah.
rest is history. Sometimes there's brands like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, Celsius one, you, I just kind of asked, and they were like, well, tell us a little bit about what you do. And how you would incorporate Celsius with that. And I'm like, look, photographers, videographers, we love caffeine.
Oh my goodness. Bang.
Exactly. They're like, all right, well, cool, sure.
I'm
I was
sure it
like,
was more than that because that's like a really good pitch, right?
mm-hmm.
But there were layers to that. When you ask, did you know you were ready? Like, or did
Oh
you ask
no,
first before being ready?
100% before being ready.
Really?
Yeah, and I honestly didn't think I was gonna get it,
Okay.
because I mean they've got people who are representing them like with a massive following, and I'm like, I've got less than 2,000 followers right now on Instagram, so I'm like, what am I gonna do? But
But you had probably good work on your portfolio already. There's got to be
right,
something. Because if we're giving
right,
that person who said yes to you the advice of saying no, they would have said no. They
yeah,
had a gut feeling. I was like, all right, this guy clearly has some talent.
right,
And if we do this, it's not a high risk thing to do. And I'm sure
mm-hmm.
they have process to do, like just kind of try it and then move on if
Sure,
they wanted to. But obviously they stuck with you, which is great. So
mm-hmm.
you see what I mean? Like there's all these like small things that we do or we don't do that leads to big things. I think the FOMO is so great in this industry because I feel like everything we say no to or everything that we do, we have this fear of like, oh, I'm not gonna miss something that's gonna be a huge opportunity because we have sometimes these like viral videos too, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of videos I almost didn't do. I literally was like, this idea's crap, man. Whatever,
Yeah,
just send it, and then it gets like 1 million views. You're like, oh my goodness, I almost didn't do that video. But I think we can't live like that in this industry either, because
yeah,
how can you do good work and creative work with that fear? It's about what is your foundation, why are you doing this, right? And
mm-hmm.
then things happen that you take it.
Right.
So constantly being in the ready state is probably a good thing. So if something does land on my lap, I can say yes to, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll go from there, right?
Right. And you reminded me of what a video that I saw with Peter McKinnon, with
Yeah,
Lord Peter
I've probably seen it
McKinnon,
too.
with our Lord and Savior Peter McKinnon, where he was talking about how, he gets these ideas, and if he doesn't start recording them right then and there, it's just going
Hmm.
to be put in the back burner, and eventually it's just not going to be recorded. And I think many times, to your point, we kind of have that same approach of like, well, I shouldn't do it right now because I'm not in the location I want to do it, or I don't have this specific thing, or I'm not dressed the way I want to be dressed for that video. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Nobody else has that same thought that you have right now. Like nobody's thinking, if he shot it at that location, like 20 feet away from him, I think it would have been better.
No, it's so true. I think I seen that episode. So I watched so much YouTube. I probably should watch less YouTube because you have to balance what you consume versus what you create, right? But I just love watching YouTube. So, but I think the other side of that coin is that you have to know yourself and almost fool your brain to do things. What I mean by that is we all thrive on dopamines and our brains are wired so that we are motivated to do something. So what Peter McKinnon described works pretty well in the beginning, but I feel like after 6 years of doing that, if you, let's say you kept doing that and you know what, it doesn't matter. Let's just record, and then it just turns out bad. You just don't edit it, or it just doesn't happen, or it gets poor performance or whatever. And if you have repeats of that, even though on the surface, and I guess our practice will say, you know, it's okay. It's about practicing and you learn from it. But our brain on the backside, it thinks something else. It goes, man, that was a really high output and really, really low, I guess, return on investment of that effort. And our brain goes, next time you do that, I don't like it. I don't want to do it. And then you feel that more and more and more after 6 years. So I have now kind of, I guess, assess the risk versus like what the return is going to be. Because when you do it so many times, you kind of have an idea, okay, if I go to that route, I'll probably have pretty poor ROI on that for my brain and for my dopamine. I'm not going to do it because if you keep doing that, you get burned out and you'll stop doing what you're loving to do. So I always think of that. It seems like I'm pretty boring now because I used to do things like spur of the moment, like, oh man, you want to go shoot? Let's go shoot. Like, I don't just go shoot everything now. Like, I'm very selective. In fact, even on weddings, I literally look at it and I get so criticized for this from like the family. It's like, oh, go get that. Oh no, you gotta get that. It's like, and I'm thinking to myself, we're not gonna put that in the edit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna film every single dessert and food item. Oh, this looks delicious. Get that. Oh, the fork is shiny. Get the fork. You know, I'm not gonna film that. So same thing with our creative process. Like, I know what I'm gonna shoot and what I'm gonna use. I'll only do those, and then once in a while, I'll like just purposely sprinkle in some random stuff. Like, I'll do some random shoots here and there for the creativity and just kind of get the juices going, right? Yeah. But I won't do that all the time, right? So I think that's the difference between when you first start, you have so much energy and you have this passion, and I kind of miss that sometimes, right? Because do you remember, like, I don't know, how long you been doing photography, Ryan?
2020, so 5-6 years.
Okay, perfect. So you probably still kind of remember that first feeling of just like, I don't know about you, my first feeling of that huge, like, oh, this is so awesome, was like first time I used a 50 millimeter 1.4, right? And before this, I was using like some kit lens that had a variable like aperture. I was probably shooting at like f9, right? And a crop sensor. And then all of a sudden you get this like 50 mil 1.4 and you're like, whoa, right? That feeling, if I'm not getting that these days, I'll try to do something risky here and there to try to see if I can get that going again. Because you're right, if you follow my advice from only up to that point, then you're gonna be pretty bored because everything's so sterile. Like, okay, this is the shot, this is the video, that's the shot, that's the video. But we do need that as a baseline to make sure that our brain doesn't go like, yeah, F this, I'm done. So that's how I see it. I know it's a little bit more than most people want to hear, but I think the creative side has so much uncreative baseline that we have to just keep going with. It's not an easy job. It's definitely not an easy job long term. I think
Right.
the first 3 years is just blissful. It is just
Yeah.
like the honeymoon phase of this creative work is just awesome. But how do we keep going after 6 years? That's another story. I still see you smiling, so you must be doing pretty well.
Oh, well, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it.
I mean that's the beginning part too, right? And that's
Right.
our whole entire like most of the time we're doing things um, we haven't tried sometimes. I'll go on a lot of the shoots, even after hundreds of weddings. Sometimes I walk in and be like, "Well, this is different. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
make stuff up at this point, see what happens." Uh, and then especially YouTube, I'm experimenting constantly. I'm doing things, and sometimes my vision and what I get is completely different.
Yeah.
But I I haven't not posted something in a while, so I'll post like probably 99% of what I create from the beginning, even if it's really bad.
Hmm.
So I have a lot of really bad stuff on my YouTube, especially the short stuff. Oh my goodness, careful in there. So, but sometimes they do well. I mean, most cringiest videos gotten the most views for me. But there's
Yeah.
some random ideas I had one day, and I just said, you know what, just send it. I don't care. Yeah.
And is that how you kind of stay, I guess, loving what you do? Because when you have a hobby, and I recently heard this from my uncle, or sorry, my cousin,
Okay.
in Ohio. He loves barbecuing. And my grandpa asked him, well, do you do this as a business or just, do you just do it? And he said, no, I don't want to make this into a business. It's just a hobby for me.
Mm.
And he has his own company too. So in the same way, is that how you kind of stay loving what you do, is just kind of being spontaneous with certain things? Because when you have something like photography or videography, as a hobby, it can be fun. Once it turns into a job, it can be somewhat, I think, demanding and get you to a place of burnout, and you don't even want to touch a camera anymore.
No, it's so important, right? Because we all seen it, right? I mean,
Mhm.
we're still here, but we've seen
Mhm.
so many people quit after 3 years, 4 years. Right around that period is probably like a little before teenager years is probably when they quit. Um, but it is, and this is something I've been telling most, people who are starting, and especially younger generation, who's getting into creative stuff, is like our biggest responsibility as a creative is not trying to learn After Effects and all these, tools. And sure, those are important. The skills that you need to, get yourself promoted in your work you do. Yes, that's important. But the most important thing to learn is, how do I keep that passion? And it's your
Mhm.
biggest responsibility is actually learning that. And if you can
Mm.
learn how not to give up and still love what you do, you're going to go really far. And all those skills of software and tools, they just come with you, right? Because those can all be picked up. But if you quit, then you're not going to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the key. The goal key is that. How do we do that? I think it's different from everyone. I'm still
Yeah.
struggling and still learning for that. And people say like, oh, you just gotta balance it, your life and your hobby or your, job, whatever you have, just balance it. And things are, there's no balancing anything when you are all in, right?
Mm.
Because when we do these work, especially creative work, um, we don't just go like, I'm gonna kind of do it. Like, sure,
Yeah.
maybe in the beginning, but once you get really good at it and you want to get good at it, you go, I am all in, right? Just like when we go on shoots, we don't go like, yeah, just kind of shoot it. Yeah, it's okay. No, we are like trying to get that shot all in. So there's
Yeah.
no balance. At that moment, you are just like prioritizing that. But I think it's
Mm.
about how do we prioritize our season of life to do this.
Mm.
So I don't believe in balancing work and family. I do believe in prioritizing, because it's a pretty clear decision when it comes to certain decision. It's like, okay, today this is happening in my family, this is happening for my work. I can prioritize this. It's a very
Yeah.
clear decision each day. If you keep doing that, I think you can last longer in this industry.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think also doing things with people, I think, is a huge, huge thing. And I think that's why 2020, 2021 is so tough for a lot of the creatives, because
Hmm.
we all of a sudden try to do this. Maybe people are already like, I already do that anyway, no problem. But we try to do this together, right? I mean, I'm having conversation with you on this platform just to we have this conversation and help each other out.
Yeah.
Doing things with other people in this creative space is huge. I know you
Hmm.
don't feel like it sometimes. You're like, oh man, I gotta go out. I'm gonna put pants on. I did put pants on, by the way. Just
Me
for the
too.
record. You want proof? Right?
You want proof?
But sometimes we gotta put pants on and just go out there with people.
Yeah.
Not trying to ruin that moment, but like, um, you can't do this alone. You
Yeah.
cannot do this alone in your industry, in this creative world. Even if you don't like it, force yourself to give a chance to go out with the group and do things together. And you'll find, and sometimes you're right, like you'll work with somebody and you're like, yep, never working with you again. Sure, that happens. But there's plenty of times where you're like, you can tell, right? Man, that was really uplifting for me. I feel so
Mhm.
much more creative because of it. And if you can do that, I think that can help you stay in this industry longer.
Right. And how important is it for you to foster those relationships that kind of just keep you going? Do you make time like once a month where you just
Mm,
get your circle together, or is it kind of like a weekly thing, or just sporadic?
all right. So that's a pretty good question too, because us creatives are normal, not we are not normal people. At least I'm not. I don't know about you, Brian. You look pretty normal, but I bet you we don't have the same kind of friend relationship as most corporate people would.
Yeah.
Because I've been into the corporate. Have you ever worked in corporate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I did IT for 9 years. What about you?
I was not IT. What was it called? Code specialist. No, yeah, code enforcer and video specialist for a school district. So
Wow, that's a very niche title. I know
I
mine's
did
so
that for
typical. So,
yeah,
some
I did
Asian
that for
guy, he's
6
an IT
years.
guy. Yeah, pretty typical. Yeah, so you know how it is to work in corporate.
Hmm.
It's different. The friend dynamic at work is different than when we're doing work. Because
Right.
sometimes when I reach out to my creative friends, it's literally like 3 months later. It's like, hey, but we're like best friends all of a sudden, right? So I
Yeah.
don't have the normal relationship with my friends like I would in a normal world because we're so
Mhm.
busy. And same thing with NAB. Like some people I see in NAB were like BFS at NAB. I
Yeah.
still haven't talked to some of those friends. When was NAB? Like 2 months ago, right? Right? I mean, that's why it's so important for me to like comment on those friends Instagram, because I feel like I'm still connected in some ways, but we really
Yeah.
are so busy. I work almost 7 days a week if I really
Hmm.
consider this as work.
Hmm.
Sometimes it feels like heavy work, sometimes it doesn't, because it's creative work. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's hard to keep that relationship going. You have to be intentional, sure. And I do check on my friends here and there to see how they're doing. And if I haven't seen them uploading a video in a long time, I say, "Hey, what are you
Hmm.
working on?" Something, right?
Yeah.
So those little things count, but I think we give each other the grace that we don't have that kind of capacity to be like, "Hey, man, let's hang out every single week."
Yeah.
Maybe some people do. Like, I'm I have kids and I spend time with my kids. Like, it's even
Hmm.
less time than a lot of the single people.
Hmm.
But most of my friend who has kids, I also understand.
Hmm.
And but what's cool is that when we do go on shoots together, it's work and we're catching up at the same time.
Yeah.
Now we try to be really, really careful not to talk too much because we're literally like talking, like, should we be filming? Yeah, we probably should be filming,
Right.
right? But it's an entirely different world. It is really wild that I'm on this side now after being in corporate for 9 years. I don't know. Do you ever miss it, Brian?
Um, I think I miss the job part of it.
Yeah.
Like the work that I was doing. Like I miss that part. I don't think I miss the atmosphere.
Oh, of
That
course. I
was
mean, we probably left
different.
because of the atmosphere, right?
Hmm.
The uncreative atmosphere now, not to blame them, but it is structured into their corporate ladder.
Right.
You are kind of put in a box. They say you're
Hmm.
not in a box, but you're definitely in a box, right?
Yeah.
You just can't be like, you know what? I don't feel like doing this today. I'm gonna do something else.
Right.
Can't do that. And you still have a job to do. But I thought you were gonna say you missed the paycheck.
Well, that too. I mean, the consistent one.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the only thing that was getting me through towards the end of it, for sure.
Hmm.
I was able to deal with a bunch of people. I just look at my paycheck and be like, yeah, I can deal with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Hmm.
Talk whatever you want.
Oh yeah.
Um, but it is, I think, a blessing also that we experience both. Um,
Hmm.
I think I know what I have in front of me is so special and so fortunate to have because I have that corporate experience and felt that to come out of it.
Yeah.
And then it also helps with a lot of the communication part too. When you deal with brands and there's all these back end stuff you got to deal with, it is helpful that I was in corporate for 9 years. That those kind of carry over. So I think
Right.
it's important. Um, like if you ever feel like, man, I wish I didn't waste all those time in corporate to become creative. I think those time are well spent still.
Mhm.
I don't know about 9 years, but definitely well spent.
So let's go back to that. Let's back up on in your story because you kind of told the story there at NAB, and for those that weren't at NAB, can you tell us how you got into all of this? Because you were also talking about like your resiliency and all that stuff. I think it comes through also your story, which I really enjoyed hearing. So if you wouldn't mind telling
Wow,
that.
Brian, I'm flattered you were actually paying attention. That was a really hard presentation I had to do. No, I so kind of, I guess because it's so important of everything that I do is based on that. So I do want to
Mhm.
share that a little bit. So I was in corporate IT for 9 years, not because like, oh, I'm out of college, let me find a job. It was literally like the dream job at the time because
Mhm.
I just got my green card. I am able to finally work in a real job in kind of environment. I thought I was going to work at Best Buy. It would have been fine, but Best Buy didn't hire me. Instead, some big giant corporation hired me. Like, what a surprise, right? So I did that for 9 years. Now, was it awesome? Like, first 2, 3 years? Oh my goodness. It was like I was getting lunch break. Like, I was like, wow, I get lunch break here. I mean, it was like, and you pay me? Wow. Right? So it was so good, but at the core of you, like when you are doing something that's not really you, you start to
Mhm.
feel it after a long time. So I
Right.
definitely felt that. I was like, man, my creative side is really wanting to just like do something else, but man, I gotta still pay for bills, and I just
Mhm.
bought a house. Like, I should probably keep working, but
Yeah.
and I think this is something that's important for everyone. The little things that we do in life sometimes have huge impact. We don't even know about it. In fact, I doubt the person who changed my life probably don't know that she changed my life, right?
Yeah.
So this marketing VP asked me to work on a video
Mm.
because she saw me like play with camera sometimes. Now, most people would be like, "Man, that's not my job. I'm not gonna do that." But I was like, after work, I'm gonna film that. Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It was for like some corporate Christmas party. I bring my camera and I'll film it. They want like a little, you know, and I made it kind of funny. I put some effects on it. It's really about this one guy getting drunk, but it's some random video, right? Again, it's something really random. She has never thought, oh, me asking this person to like see if you can film and edit this real quick. She has no idea that's gonna change my life. I
Wow.
love that so much, and then something clicked. I was like, oh, this is like the coolest thing. I want to do more of it. And and I think this is where YouTube's missing a lot of this. Like we don't get to see we post our work and we don't see people's reaction on their face.
Yeah.
But man, it is so cool when you show something in public and you see all these people just like get mesmerized by it, and I don't know, it really clicks. Not trying to be like big headed. It's just more of a confirmation in your brain, like, oh, this is good.
Mhm.
And I enjoy that so much. I kept making a couple more videos for this marketing VP. I was literally doing their marketing video at one point and doing IT. I was like, man, I was like, doing two jobs right now. But I never complained. I would always like,
Yeah.
I remember staying at work till like 10, 11 p.m. to finish some of these videos. And so I was doing IT and some marketing work, even though I was the director of IT services towards the end. I think it's
Mhm.
irresponsible for me to actually do other stuff.
Mhm.
But technically, after 5 o'clock, I felt pretty comfortable working on something else while I'm at work. I'm still
Sure.
doing it for the same company too.
Mhm.
And it just clicked so much. I started watching a bunch of YouTube videos to learn, and back in the day, there were like maybe 5 tutorials in After Effects. That
Mhm.
was it. And the information and the resource that we have today is unbelievable. I don't think people
Yeah.
know that a lot of times either. Like, man, we have it so good to like start right now, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's too late." Or, there's AI. Man, exactly. There's AI and there's YouTube videos and everything you need like on the internet to learn.
Yeah.
That is not how we did it back in the day. But anyways, I still pushed through it and I learned it, and it really sank in my heart that I would. And you know this, towards the end, when you find something you love to do, the other job just keeps getting worse.
Yep. Yep.
To a point where like really considering like I should quit. And of
I
course
should
like
quit
yeah,
now.
yeah, but you have to do it like responsibly. I know some people can be like, you know what, I quit, and they have no
Yeah.
plan lined up, like you no
Yeah.
clients. So I kept like just at it, and then next
Mhm.
thing I know, I have a couple clients lined up. So I feel pretty good about it. But the biggest thing again that changes, I went to this church called Church of the Redeemer, and they're pretty big on video production.
Mm.
And when I saw their production for the first time, my first time going there, and I was like in love with the effort and the visuals and cinematics they really put into it. And they had this like team who volunteered to do that. So like, you know what? Let me try. So I did it and I made a video for them. Again, confirmation. They loved my video, right? In
Yeah.
fact, they were like, "Oh man, like we want to get to know you a little bit better." Like, so we really clicked. And long story short, me volunteering there for a little bit kind of led to a point where they were like, "Hey, say if you ever want to do this for a living, you can actually become staff if you want." And that really hit me.
Yeah.
Now, I thought that question over for an entire year. I never jumped on it, and I had to really pray and see if this is something, because I'm going from like corporate IT to not only
Mhm.
video, because that's already risky. I'm
Yeah.
going corporate IT to a church.
Right.
They clearly can't pay me as much as my corporate IT job. But yeah, at that exact season, I got even promoted even more. So we had a merger with a bigger company, and I was doing work with a corporation with 6,000 employees. There are 25 different teams, and I was in charge of all these IT teams that report back to me. And I was gonna travel to China. Like literally, that job was gonna be like engulfing my life. I knew that was gonna
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
But at the right time, I thought, hey, this church job could be it. So I jumped from that to
Yeah.
church job doing video. And then that's kind of like when I started my YouTube channel a little bit in the middle of church work. And then eventually I even took a bigger leap of faith and say, you know what? I'm going to do YouTube because I love it so much. But
Yeah.
all these things happened because that VP lady asked me to do one video. That was it. Like, so when we go about our life and ask people to do things or even help somebody to do things, we never
Mhm.
know what their path is going to change into. I know it's kind of scary because we have that much power, but at the same time, yeah, we have so much impact on the people around us, and that's why I think YouTube is so special because I never know. Um, like my video hopefully inspires someone to do the same. Hopefully,
Yeah.
same thing with your podcast, or someone listening to this, maybe just catch up on that one line and applies that, and then it changes their life. You never know, but we
Right.
just got to do our best each day and, hope for the best.
And I love where you were going with that because when you were talking at NAB again, I was paying attention.
Oh,
You
nice.
get you get to the end of your presentation, and you're like, before you quit, come talk to me.
Yes, I remember that.
I was sitting there
Yeah.
with the thought in my mind that I probably am never coming back to an NAB, not because I didn't enjoy it, but because I was literally considering just, trying something else. And hearing the whole discussion, then you get to that end part. I go back to TJ, who I was with at the time.
Yeah.
We were there at NAB. That sounded like we were together. No, we're not together. We're just friends.
Clarify for everyone.
Yeah. We're friends. We were at NAB together, and I went over there and I'm like, I think I needed to hear that whole presentation. He's like, yeah. So you still want to quit? And I'm like,
Man,
I don't think so.
really? Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea,
Yeah.
Brian.
And I didn't even tell
Um,
you there. Like,
no, again, to me, it was just a presentation, right, in the beginning. But you have to almost consider every single opportunity as a meeting of your life, right? Why are we here? Why are we doing what we do? Now, we can expect that every single time either, but at the same time, it's really hard for me to not do a really good job on everything I do and give everything I got. And yes, church work did teach me that, and that's pretty tough because you can't be on 110% all the time either. But at the same time, you never know what kind of impact you have. So how can I try my not my best at the time, right? But man, Brian, I had no idea. No,
yeah.
and I mean, it is tough times, right? I don't know about you, but like videography and photography, at least for wedding videography, like it looking slim, right? Because we used to film like, man, last year, I think we did like 32 weddings.
Jeez.
Yeah, which is pretty decent. Time before that, I think we were close to, I want to say 50. It was like almost every single weekend, sometimes 3 in 1 weekend. But now this year, I got like 6.
Wow.
And that was before knowing that it was 6. It was like in the beginning of the year, I think we counted like 3, right? So you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is it. It's over, man.
Yeah.
And sure, people had different reasons to doubt their work because it's so up and down. I don't know. When you say, I don't know if I want to come back to NAB, what did you mean by that? It's like, did you mean like, I don't know if NAB is for me or as the whole creative thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Seeing all the gear and meeting all the people and seeing old friends. That was fun. It's just, if I was going to give up or rather quit on the whole creative industry and just keep it as a hobby thing, yeah, I'm not coming back to NAB. Now, if I stay in it, I'm coming back to NAB.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
it was a lot of
they are
fun.
correlated because you don't have to come to NAB to be creative.
Right.
Right. But at the same time, it is one place you get to meet people, sure. But there's so many moments. I mean, this is tough work because there's no validation a lot of times. You do your work, and our validation sometimes isn't monetary. Like our monetary, sure, there are people who do really, really well, and they might get that validation like, hey, I'm making a lot of money in this, I'm good. My validation was never the money. In fact, it still is not, right? A lot of the review videos I do, I have a hard time charging brands still because one, I don't want to be in a situation where I have to guarantee views. That puts an
Yeah.
entirely different category on these videos. And then
Right.
two, I done a couple sponsor videos, and I don't like not having the freedom. The reason why I'm doing YouTube is the fact that nobody gets to tell me what to do. I know that sounds horrible, but dude, once you go YouTube, you don't want to work for another dude. That's my phrase. Like
Right.
that's the thing I tell everybody. Once you, because it's dangerous. Be careful going on YouTube because you'll never want to work for another dude. I'm not trying to be sexist. It just kind of rhymed. That's why I said the dude. It
Yeah.
could be a lady, okay? Just I'm
Yeah.
not excluding ladies. Um, but I felt the freedom of just being able to create and post my thing without someone saying, "Hey, take that out. I don't like the
Yeah.
music," or these are the bullet points you have to speak. Like there was none
Mhm.
of that on non-sponsored videos. I love
Yeah.
that. So if I can make money around that and that video doesn't have to make a ton of money, if there's an opportunity that comes out of that to make money, I'll do it. So there's
Yeah.
different way to get validation. And I think that's important in our creative industry is that our brain needs validation, whether you
Mhm.
admit it or not.
Oh
And
yeah.
you try, it just won't do it anymore, right? After
Mhm.
a while, you're like, why? You know,
Yeah.
like, why do we sleep? I hate sleeping. But the validation is that you feel good afterward. There's some kind of returns. Therefore, we sleep. We trust that we sleep. Sometimes you don't
Yeah.
have a choice. But this whole psychology of creative work and validation back and forth, it needs to happen. So you have to forcefully create that a lot of times, whether that's
Mhm.
money or feeling good or um, uh, I hate to say it, but those likes and views, I know people say it don't matter. Oh, it sure does matter in your brain,
Yeah.
um,
It does.
right? But our responsibility is to make sure that doesn't have the negative effect. I'm okay with
Right.
the positive effect, long as I can realistically cap it. Like I don't want
Yeah.
that to play make me delusional. I don't want
Right.
that.
Right.
But the
Mhm.
validation of posting, knowing that people saw it, I think is
Mhm.
important. Will
Yeah.
you post something on Instagram if there was guaranteed zero views?
No.
Yeah, exactly. so so the argument of like the views shouldn't matter. It realistically it does matter.
Yeah.
I think we try to make sure it doesn't go on the unhealthy direction of it.
Mhm.
Whether it's up or down.
Yeah.
But you have to create that system of validation. And the other part, I don't know the financial situation of everyone, including yourself, right? That's the other piece that's huge. Um,
Mhm.
and it is so hard these days because I don't pump gas. I had an electric car, but even then,
Mm.
I feel like because the gas price going up, everything's more expensive, right?
Yeah.
So you feel a lot of pressure, even though I'm not on the street, like I'm not like homeless, but it's literally like in my mind constantly, like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to make money.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do that if I'm only doing YouTube or creative work? And these brands sometimes they pay really well one season, and then next season they're like, no, nothing, right? So it's all up and down. So how do we create the system where we can validate our creativity and our passion at the same time, make it survivable? I don't know the answer for everyone, but um, just being aware of that, I think, helps us guide our plans ahead, so we're protected not to quit. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's hard to. I mean, you've given up so much, Ryan, too, right? So six
Oh yeah.
years. Um, the reason why I never gotten back to IT or quit is because
Mhm.
that decision from going corporate to the
Mhm.
creative work was a huge sacrifice,
Oh yeah.
right? If it was so easy, I think I would have quit a long time ago. But
Mm.
because there was so much sacrifice that was made, I cannot go back in time and tell that person who sacrificed so much that I quit. Like, how can
Mm.
I like imagine facing yourself 6 years ago, making that huge decision to quit, coming back from the future, Arnold Schwarzenegger style, right? And say, you quit, by the way,
Yeah.
right? No, I can't do that to myself. And
Mhm.
I have sacrificed even more so this past 6, 7, 8 years
Right.
doing the work that I do. I have to keep trying. And there'll be years where it's like really hard, but I think there'll be plenty of years in the future where I'll look back and be like, I'm so glad I didn't quit. So I think that's kind of like the takeaway from that whole thought process.
Yeah, because I've even talked to my mom about it, and I'm like, it almost feels like, kind of going back to the quitting thought. It almost feels like you are a failure for yourself when you consider quitting and all these things. Like, should I really look at myself in the mirror and be like, you failed? You failed at this one thing you tried to do. And the way she told me was that you just have to restructure it. If you're choosing to quit and go back to something else, going back to what's familiar, sometimes it's just a matter of being like, you know what, I learned from this thing, learned what worked, learned what didn't. Go back, regroup, and then if you want to give it a shot again, give it a shot again. But don't be too hard on yourself, which, I'll be honest, is one of my problems. So
all of
I don't
us
know.
creatives, yeah,
right.
that's how we got better. Also, right?
Yeah.
It was our weakness. Also, it was our like special weapon to get better. So no, I mean, moms always have good wisdom, but I think it's ultimately up to you to have that self-talk. And I'm pretty hard on myself. I think it's probably how I grew up. It's in my culture. Because my wife, she heard this language of failure, and she's like, "Man, you're really hard on yourself. Like, stop using that word, because it is self-talk a lot of times, right? We convince ourselves." But I told my wife I used that word not to say I failed, because when I hear that sometimes, I get up even stronger. So this self-destroying habit, I know it's bad, but it has made me who I am today in some sense. So I do not regret some of those moments where I was really hard on myself. Now, we can't do that like rest of our life. We can't stay in that zone too long. But sure, again, I go back to the gut feeling. Like, if you, not everyone has to have this clear path of most successful content creator, because we see it all the time on YouTube. You think, oh, I need to be on that path because that person is really successful. No one is you. You will have different paths and different ways to get to where you are to be. So don't feel like, oh, I failed because I didn't go that path that person did. There's going to be different ways, but it will make sense to you, and you know the gut feeling like, okay, I know what to do. This is the right thing to do. So yeah, I think one of the questions you had on the prep sheet was, like, how do you become creative and not compare yourself, right? And that question really struck me, because I couldn't answer that. It's weird. Maybe I'm weird, and we're all weird, and that's why we're here. I have never compared myself. Like, it's insane to me that thought has never crossed, even though it is the most commonly talked about. And I had to really think about it. Like, why am I like that? Am I just like weird and like different? And I think I spend most of my energy in two ways. So I never compare myself to my peers, because I'm so happy for them and when they succeed. In fact, I have YouTuber friend who's like, literally he started the exact same time as I did, and we grew always the same amount. Like, it's literally like funny how identical growth we had. We always made the same kind of video. He has a different style, but we grew exactly the same time. But recently, he grew to a point where he blew me out of the water like 4 times. Like, he's out there, right? But I could not. I didn't. Never had a chance to say, "Oh, I compare myself." I was like so happy for him that I spent my energy being happy for that person. Now, you can't be like that with the bigger celebrities, because we don't have that connection. Like, sure, I'm happy for them, but they're not the same amount happy for my friend. But I never compare myself to them, because I was so busy doing my own thing. Like, I couldn't even have the crossing path thought. And I think knowing that you're you and no one else is you already
Mhm.
basically sets in the path that you cannot compare yourself because your path is different. Um,
Yeah.
so you do you and worry about that and put all your effort into that. When you get older, your brain just kind of like narrows down to such a limited bandwidth. It happens
Mhm.
naturally. So when you get older, it's actually easier. Like I don't have time to think about and worry about other people and how well they do or what kind of work they create. Now,
Yeah.
here's the other difference is like when I look at those celebrity content creators who do awesome work, I look at them as my inspiration and learn from it. Just like
Mhm.
movies, we don't go into Hollywood movies and go. Maybe some do. I don't know. I'm not there yet. Go like, wow, that was a really good movie, but man, I'm starting to compare myself.
Right.
Right? We don't. We say that was a good movie. That looked
Mhm.
awesome. Man, I want to shoot like that. I like the color.
Mhm.
Take that thought to everybody you compare yourself to,
Mhm.
right? It's not you're comparing yourself to other work, other art. It's literally like, oh, I admire that. I love that. How can I get inspired by that? So we are what we consume, just like food. So I like to consume good work
Mhm.
periodically because I never feel like it's toxic thing to do, just like movies. And I try to see if I can get inspired by it. I
Mhm.
never copy them directly, obviously, but subconsciously, I know I'm copying them because it's happening in my brain already. Like, I love that, inspired by
Mhm.
it. When I film next time, my color's looking just like that movie sometimes
Yeah.
because I was inspired by it. And if you can just focus on that two things, being happy for your peers for doing well and then being
Mhm.
inspired by people who really, really do good work, you don't
Mhm.
have time to compare yourself. And I don't know, it just never occurred to me that was ever a problem within my career. Um,
Mhm.
but I think also it feeds into the whole thing of like wanting a lot of times wanting to quit also derives from comparing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you had nobody in this entire world, you were just doing your thing, you'll never quit because you don't know what's good or bad.
Yeah.
As long as you like what you're doing, right?
Right.
But because we have such a perception on responsibility of money, like this person is so successful, but I feel like I'm not. Like it just all
Mhm.
becomes toxic feed for your brain.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just gotta focus on you, and you're
Mhm.
good. Um, and I don't know, we're still here, aren't we?
Yes, sir, we are.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the prep sheet, and I'm like, man, and not in a bad way, but we haven't even gone through any of the questions.
No, which is good. I mean, like you definitely weren't like just like reading things from it. I mean, there was a really
Yeah.
good inspiration to get some thoughts going for sure.
Yeah.
And even when I was reading it, I let myself be free from the questions, because I
Yeah.
knew we're not gonna just read script doing this, right? I wanted to
Mhm.
talk to you, just talking to you, catch up after NAB.
Yeah.
Um, like it's important, and I think that's the style that I make my content a lot of times. Like it is not scheduled and scripted all the time. Now we have some
Right.
strategies, right? There are
Sure.
methods out there where we schedule ourselves, but let
Mhm.
yourself be free because you're doing this to be free,
Yeah.
right? Um, but at the same time, yes, it's not as easy as said and done.
Right. Absolutely. Though there is one question that I do have on mine that I ask everybody. And this is usually the last question that I ask just because it can either go super happy or
Uh huh.
super sad.
Uh
And
oh.
it that's totally up to you.
Uh huh.
But if this were your last day, how would you want people to remember you?
That was on the sheet. I didn't. I don't remember that question.
It wasn't. It's a
Oh,
surprise
dang.
question.
Oh, let's see. Repeat that again one more time. That's heavy.
Yeah. If today were your last day, how would you want people to remember you?
Wow. That's a really good question because I thought of that in some ways today. So
Mm,
I wasn't prepared to answer that because it is a heavy question, but I have thought of it without the
yeah.
answer. Um, I, I think I would love to be remembered by the fact that I did my best at everything that I did for the people I care for. Not everything I did for myself, but people I care for.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not alone, and to make an impact in the world, you can't just do things for yourself. You have to make impact around people around you, and it's a ripple effect, right? And that's, I think, how this world can be a better place, because it is a ripple effect if everyone did that. Now, the deeper question I ask this also is that I think the question we have to ask ourselves, it's hard to think that because we can't really, I mean, we never know, but we can't really relate our last day today very well. It just doesn't
Yeah.
happen instinctually, right?
Mhm.
Oh, it's going to happen later. I'll think about it later, maybe. But what if you practice this every day?
Mhm.
How would you like to remember yourself um, next 1 hour? And you
Mm.
do it. Like, okay? And you keep doing it. Okay. This next 1 hour, I want to feel like I was so productive. I want to feel, because it's something like really shallow in the beginning, right? It's like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Like, what can I possibly do in 1 hour? I want to feel like I finished something I feel like I want to be clean, like clean the room or whatever. But
Mhm.
what if you kept asking that question each day, but longer? What if
Mm.
tomorrow was, how would you like to remember yourself in 5 hours? How would you like to be remembered by other people in 1 day, 2 day, a week? Next thing you know, your question now is your end.
Mm.
And hopefully, because you asked that question in a scalable manner, you have
Yeah.
applied practicality to that question. Because it's so hard to ask that question as a big, like this thing. Because by the time you ask that and you are at the deathbed, maybe it's too late. And I think a lot of people regret their life because of it, right?
Right.
But what if we make that tangible by breaking it down a little bit smaller, right? So how would you be remember? How would you like to be remembered this end of this week,
Mm.
Brian? And try to work on that.
Well, it is Thursday, so we've got
Oh
2
yeah, it's
days.
easy.
Man, see, now I'm gonna have to start using that question instead.
Totally. I thought of it this morning. I was like, because it's so hard. I think it's also my personality, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
super hyper focused on whatever is current. I'm really good at that. I am
Mhm.
not good at like just working on long things that have a huge like long deadline. If someone says, you know
Yeah.
what, this video is due in 3 months, I'm not gonna work
Yeah.
on that till like maybe 3 days before. But I'll do
Yeah.
well. I mean, like I'll still like do a pretty good job. It's just like I think again, my personality is that I always feel like I'm tired because of it. Sure, because I'm
Mhm.
always just finishing it and surviving each task.
Yeah.
I've been like that my entire life. Every single project, I work on it. Like they're pretty good. Right, some of the work I've done, I go and sit there. I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. But the pain that it took to finish that was so much
Mhm.
because I like just worked on nothing but that.
Yeah.
Um, and I treat every single task that way, even mundane things. It's exhausting, but at the same time, kind of like, but I think it's worth it because I know I can't defeat that personality. It's almost part of me. But I know it has impacts on other people, and I'm okay with
Right.
that. So hopefully that's a good answer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm already crying over here.
Filter, right? I think that's
Yeah,
filter.
yeah. Man, say we have so much to talk about. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I knew the reason why I clicked with you at NAB. So you have heart behind your work,
Mhm.
and sure, everyone does to some degree, but some people show it better than the other. And I knew when you work on things and when you take those photos, I can kind of see um, the working behind the scene behind it, even though I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You have a lot of passion behind it. It's
Mhm.
important.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to remember that next time I'm comparing myself to, like, just remember what Say said, or
Yeah,
rather, this is being recorded. I can just play it back.
There you go. I got it in 1080p. I didn't record in 4K, and it's not open gate, by the way. So you're gonna have to like crop this if you ever use it. Sony camera doesn't have open gate. Wow.
Not yet. Not yet.
I don't know. It's coming, man.
I mean, if you switch over to Canon, you can get the R6V.
See, I have sacrificed so much to leave Canon. I'm not going back. Okay. You know how painful it is for going from Canon to Sony back in the day. It was so bad. It was color was whacked. Like, oh my goodness. Battery life was horrid. But I jumped ship anyway. So yeah, I my first like professional camera that I used, the Canon 5D Mark II and III.
Wow.
Yeah. But the
Wow.
images out of that were like, at the time, like using those like nifty 50 on those, a full frame. I was like, man, this is good. Until I had to go at low light, and then at low light, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where they fell apart.
Yeah. But nowadays, I mean, it's hard to go wrong nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why these gear reviews are kind of, I feel, a little bit stale. We have to be really intentional about making it more exciting, because they're all the same. Everything is so good.
Yeah.
Like which is great, because sometimes, you know, I get bad gear and I say I can't do this video because it's bad. I haven't had bad gear in a long time. Everything is really good. I mean, like, what a wonderful world we live in.
Yeah. You should make an opposite video and just dog on the whole thing. Like, actually, no, maybe not dog on it. Just say everything that's good about it in a negative way. Like, man, I hate this camera. It's so good. What do you mean it shoots open gate? God.
No, it's a problem. I mean, maybe it is a problem because your file's going to be huge. And, you know, we all know the shortage in SSD, so that is a problem. But I've seen YouTubers do the opposite, like kind of like what you're saying. Like, they'll literally go for, they'll go on Amazon and buy all the 1-star gear purposely. They'll buy like these 1-star Amazon gear and see how bad it really is.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I don't have money for that, but that'll be fun.
We need 10 more weddings, everybody. 10 more weddings for Say so he can get Amazon gear.
Yeah, it's funny how all the money I make from wedding just goes straight back to my channel. Yeah, my last video I made, I calculated, because I did a little gamify thing where I counted how much money I spent throughout the video. Dude, I spent $989. So basically $1,000 on my last video on my own money. My wife hasn't seen the video yet. I'm scared to show it to her. But I just needed stuff throughout the video, and I just kept buying it and renting it. And then at the end of the video, I was like, holy cow, I just spent $1,000 on this video that's not even sponsored.
Gosh.
But we do it anyway. We'll see.
Well, kudos to you, Say.
Yeah. So if I can do it, everybody else can do it, because I am just struggling all the time and just making by barely, but I still am here trying to make it happen. My dream really was to make living off of YouTube, and I still am on that goal, even though most people, including myself, can look at it on the surface and say I failed, because when you look at my paycheck from YouTube, it is not at the level where people say you have succeeded.
Yeah.
But I don't think the success definition is on that for me. Now, I'm okay. Like, I'm not doing an irresponsible thing, making my children starve. They get fed pretty well, right? But at the same time, I am not at the level that I want to be, which is really exciting, Brian. To be honest, if I succeeded and I met my goal, what a boring thing it would be. I know human nature is always looking for more, so I'm sure there's more of that. But it's kind of fun because I'm struggling. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes I try to enjoy the fact that, man, I have so many things I can do to improve, but I know and how to do it. I just gotta figure out how to do the how to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the time, right? You don't have time to do it. So it's really exciting time at this period where we are struggling a little bit because, man, I hate to be bored.
So for you, the struggle is fueling the drive, I guess you could say.
Oh, that's a constant struggle, sure. There's more than that. Obviously, there's plenty of stacked struggles on top of that, but that is
Sure.
the baseline. So if you can't figure that part out, everything else is going to be a problem forever. But if
Mhm.
you can figure that part out, and the drive and the passion and wanting to do this again and again, if you
Mhm.
figure that part out, everything else is a problem that you can solve.
Mhm.
Because what is life without problem solving? It is literally
Right.
constantly, we expect problems, right?
Mhm.
I don't get mad when my car breaks down because it's an opportunity.
Right.
I should probably emphasize that I have a car YouTube channel, and my biggest video, the money making video, are I have a problem with my truck, right? Or like, oh man, I'm about to publish. Teslas are notorious for like scratching on the curb, like you get curb rash on your wheel.
Mhm. Mhm.
It happened, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. I'm gonna make a video, right? But I'm solving these problems because, again, you saw the joy of that. Like, I like
Yeah.
making videos. I have the baseline joy down where
Mhm.
these problems no longer are problems. It's just an opportunity.
Mhm.
So let's work on making sure we are happy and passionate about what we do, and rest will just fall in place.
I love that. Say, man, again, we are going to have to do this many, many
Yeah,
times
yeah,
together.
yeah. We'll see where we are to like. Let's check. Like, oh man, remember last time we talked? Like, man, say you say you're not making any money on YouTube. What are you now? Like, who knows?
We're
Maybe it's the same.
multimillionaires now.
No, I again, those are byproducts. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
I ever set goals to make money,
Yeah.
but I think my goal and your goal is to say, hey, I love working on that, right?
Yeah.
And then money just kind of happens.
Mhm.
And I know that statement is not valid too much nowadays because things are down. Like, I think the economy and how things are on the videography and photography world, people hire less, and I don't want that to reflect on like our skill set. It's not that all the time. Yes, we have to
Yeah.
figure out how to navigate this, and that's going to be huge with the AI next couple of years. But at the same time, like if we like what we do, like what do we got to worry about?
Right.
Yeah.
And well, again, so much to talk about for sure. So much to unpack. But tell the people what you got coming down the pipeline. Anything you're excited for? Anything you
You mean
want
my
people to be?
$1,000 video? So,
Yeah.
well, that should be out by the time this goes out live for sure. But I have my main thing is the YouTube,
Mhm.
and yes, I do review gear, but I think people should realize why I do those is always behind. And I try to do as much as I can on Instagram to show behind the scenes on stories and why we do what we do. But yeah, my main channel is probably where you find me the most. And I reply to all comments on my YouTube video within 3 days of video dropping, every one of them. I guess I'm not big enough yet, but but after 3 days, it does get overwhelming and I can't respond
Yeah.
anymore. But yeah, I'd love to catch you on my YouTube comment section. We'll have some conversation there too.
I love it. Well, say thank you very much for sharing your time with us. I appreciate you, your knowledge, your wisdom. It's a lot, and in a good way. I think there was definitely a lot for anybody to take away from. Whether you're in the creative space as a videographer, photographer, an artist, a musician, a cook, I think there was a lot for somebody to take away from this. So I really do appreciate you. Again, we didn't even hit any of the any of the questions from the sheet, which I love. Maybe we'll hit them next time.
That
But I
sounds like
do
my YouTube
appreciate you.
video. I didn't hit any of the topics. Oh well. But Brian, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for like letting me talk like this. Because I this is why I make my YouTube videos, is so that I can have these kind of connections. So thank you.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And hey, all of you, go ahead and share this episode with somebody you think would benefit from this conversation. Remember, check us out on our socials at The Brian Snyder, Faro Visuals, That's BS Official, and IM_SayPark.
You got it.
Yes, sir. And then also check out his YouTube at SayPark. Check out the YouTube channels at The Brian Snyder and That's BS Official, and the websites, TheBrianSnyder.com and FaroVisuals.com. Say, do you have a website or no?
I canceled it because, again, I don't want to work for anybody except me.
Okay.
It's my YouTube is my basically portfolio.
That's fair.
Yeah, my website gone. Told you I'm weird.
Man, that would have saved me money if I did that too. Shoot.
But if you have a client that's kind of you need some kind of client-facing thing. So it is needed. I'm not saying like that's the way to do it. But at one point, if YouTube becomes your website, you don't need it.
Fair enough. Well, I'll remember that next year. Again, appreciate y'all. Go ahead, follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can do that today. Click the little notification button so that way it lets you know when the next episode goes live. This is the end. Go ahead and get yourself a glass of sweet tea, Celsius, any other off-brand energy drinks you got there. Or maybe anything stronger that you might like to drink. We don't judge. Go ahead and do that. Tell somebody that you love them, and we'll catch you on the next one. And don't forget that the only BS you have to deal with is in the name.